What I'm going to try to do today is explain a discovery that I've made about the old school swing, and then I'm going to follow this up, I hope, with a demonstration that's helpful and convincing. When I wrote Landing Safeties, and that came out about half a year ago, I had already tried the uh, idea that the old school hitters, the guys in the 1890s, you'd see them in those tobacco cards with their front foot open a little bit and their hands are down here. And there's, it's not like this is a casual pose that one or two of them is taking. It's practically universal. You look at those cards and they're all standing something like this. So you know that this is leading to something that they want to do. I could not figure out really why the front foot was open. And in Landing Safeties, I talked about maybe they were, swinging the foot back and then open again. A lot of hitters in very recent times there are still hitters that do stuff like that where they start up very open so that they can close up. That's not what those guys 120 years ago were doing. It couldn't be, because they were not swinging rotationally. They were swinging in a more linear fashion. They were swinging down on the ball and landing on their front foot. And I couldn't figure out why they would want to set up with their feet that way. And sometimes you can try something over and over and over again and it just doesn't click. You're not cracking any windows open and you just don't get it. And then for some inexplicable reason, one day it's just there and you see what happened. And I had one of those moments with this foot placement. I'm pretty sure I know now what was happening. They were not bringing their front foot back at all, and that's what I was getting wrong. I thought you had to coil it or lift it up or do something with it. Actually, I'm pretty much convinced that they were. I don't know that they did this part, but I think this is why I made the discovery. This is what led me to it. I've been working on this little hop off the back foot, and when you do that, you can keep the front foot pretty much just like it is. You do a little tippy toe here on the front if you need to keep your balance, but the bat is still forward. The foot is not swinging back at all. The knee is not bending. And when you see the ball coming, you just kind of flow into it as the foot is moving forward. The bottom hand is lifting, and we talk about this so much on smallballsuccess.com, the spread hands and the parallel reverse motion of the hands. As the front foot glides into the ball, the bottom hand is lifting up. The top hand isn't doing much of anything. It's just staying patient. And then as the foot comes down, if you decide you want to swing, that's when the bottom hand levers in and the top hand really gets strong and drives down on the ball. And if you do that, you're going to end up with that very front foot finish and the bat finishing high over the shoulder. And to the extent that we can, you can't find this in 1890s baseball cards because they didn't show that posture, but you can sure see it in photographs from the early 1900s, the first decade, and then the teens. This is what we call dead ball era. This is an era when guys would go up to bat 600 times and strike out half a dozen times. They were making a lot of contact, hitting a lot of low line drives. So this is what I'm going to try to do in my demonstration. I got two versions of this. One is where I'm more upright, and I have been experimenting with doing something with the back foot, so I'm going to continue with that, and I'm just going to shuffle in a little bit. This also keeps me from, I was always worried with that back foot hop that my head would bounce way up, which is bad for keeping your eyes on the ball. But if you're not doing anything much with the front foot, the head stays very level. And I can unload so quickly as long as I remember to keep the bat forward. I don't want to be like a contemporary hitter, throwing my elbow up at the sky and hurling the bat backward. Let's just keep everything forward. And you may wonder, well, okay, I'm not going to hit anything a very long way, am I? But I don't think that's necessarily true either, because as the body comes forward, you're going to leave your hands behind. See right there? I've got my hands pretty much even now with the rear shoulder because my weight has come so far forward. I've pretty much just kept my hands in a stable position, but my body has shifted forward. And the swing is also relatively level, although I feel like I'm swinging down on the ball, but I'm sure that the view that you're getting is a very level one. Now I can try this from more of a Ty Cobb kind of crouch. There's not really a significant difference here. I thought that there was at first, but again, I just have to concentrate on keeping the hands out, which is something that maybe the one thing that Cobb always emphasized when he was talking about hitting. Keep your hands out from your body. That was something that I personally had a hard time understanding. Why would you want to do that? But with this stroke, I mean, with both versions of it that I've showed you, you definitely want to keep it in your head. Okay, the bat, I'm not going to let it ride to the rear shoulder. I'm not going to let it lift up. You need to do that for balance, among other things, but with the weight coming forward so forcefully, I really don't think you're going to be losing that much power. And this is such a good stroke for hitting low line drives. And that's the money shot in baseball. I know that there's not a lot of emphasis. Well, we're almost into the second decade of the 21st century, so we'll see how things go. But I think a lot of baseball minds are beginning to come around to the fact that home run derby just isn't necessarily the best plan for winning games. This is a great plan for winning games, and as baseball becomes more aware of that, I think it's going to be a great plan for getting you into the lineup. It's something that you, as a shorter player, if that's why you're looking at this, through smallballsuccess.com, this is something that a short player should be able to do, especially if you got more of the wide body type as I do. You should be really good at this kind of swing. You're going to be hitting, in some leagues, junior high school, you'll be hitting 600. That's the way I see it.